Good morning, everyone, and I welcome all of the radio, television, and family and friends to Albany, Dougherty County. We are here at the beautiful Albany State Campus in Albany, Georgia, one of the largest HBCUs in the state. We are here because of very important information about the Inflation Reduction Act. I want to welcome all of you here to speak about a very important event or very important funding measures that are related to our climate change and agricultural. And it's very important now that we hear from our guests who make the wise decisions to use the Inflation Reduction Act to further conservation plans to help small farmers in the state of Georgia continue to be the best agricultural state in the country. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Will Harris. I have a farm in Bluffton, Georgia called White Oak Pastures, where we raise cows, hogs, sheep, goats, rabbits, poultry, as well as organic vegetables, eggs, honey, and a number of other products. We have a USDA inspected red meat slaughter plant and a USDA inspected poultry slaughter plant on the farm. We also have a store, a restaurant, and farm lodging. We are the largest private employer in Clay County, Georgia, with about 150 full-time employees. And a lot of our financial success has come from the Department of Agriculture programs like the Value-Added Producer Grant and EQIP and several others. Thank you for having me here today, and I appreciate your support.
My name is Jody Harris-Benoit, and I'm the Director of Tourism at White Oak Pastures. I'm here to represent CFAR, which is a 501c3 nonprofit that my dad, Will, founded in 2021, and that is truly the educational arm off of our farm at White Oak Pastures in Bluffton. Through CFAR, we host three major educational sessions, one being about solar grazing. So on our farm, or surrounding our farm, we graze 2,000 acres of land that are covered in solar panels, and our sheep serve as the vegetation to keep the vegetation off of the panels. And so we've been doing it long enough to where we know what not to do, and so we like to teach about our mistakes. A second class that we host through CFAR is called IRA, which stands for Immersive Introduction to Regenerative Agriculture. And this type of farming that we do in Bluffton is not highly scalable, but it is highly replicable. And farmers that want to replicate the food system that we are doing in Bluffton come and learn about what we are doing and how we are doing it so they can go and replicate it in their own context all across the map. The third session that we host through CFAR is more of a fundamentals class, and that is not necessarily people who attend that want to replicate it, but they want to support it in their own industries. And so a couple of examples of folks who have attended that are General Mills and their sustainability department, and Delta, actually. And so we're great that heavy hitters like that want to come and learn about our food system in Bluffton.
Good afternoon. My name is Fernando Jackson. I'm also known as Farmer Fredo. I am the Executive Director for Flint River Fresh. We are a 501c3 nonprofit that's based here in Dougherty County, but our work spans the tri-state area. And our focus is making sure that everybody has access to fresh fruits and vegetables, but as well as creating new economic opportunity for small-scale, beginning, socially disadvantaged, and veteran farmers. And so through the Inflation Reduction Act, we have a partnership that we do with our local NRCS office, which stands for National Conservation Resource Services. And so what that is, we work in partnership to teach beginning farmers about the importance of soil health, the importance of utilizing cover crop as a way to feed the soil back, as well as bringing in different type of irrigation systems that help with water conservation. And we've also been looking at expanding into work into new technologies and how we can utilize drones in terms of scouting for pest management, in terms of scouting for weed management as well. And then also through the Conservation Act, we've been working intentionally within our school systems. So we utilize that space to teach our kids about the responsibility of growing food, but to grow it more sustainable, more natural, and more scientific in its approach. And so through the support through Congress of passing the legislation related to this act, it will help us further expand talking to the youth, engaging the youth, but also creating a platform for beginning farmers to be engaged with the advantages of participating in NRCS programs. In addition to that, we're looking at utilizing some of these programs to help create what we call community orchards. So looking at areas that are abandoned and how we can plant fruit trees, bushes that can serve as food for the community, but also habitat for our pollinators and more of our wildlife in general. So we use these practices not only, again, just to grow food, but protect the planet that we live on and do practices that can be sustained and passed along from one generation to the next. So hopefully you guys will go to your senators, your congressmen, and follow through to make sure that the legislation that's on the table is passed so those billions of dollars can be utilized to serve the rural communities in particular. And again, making sure that we can feed the world, take care of the world, and making sure everybody here has nice food on their takes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And again, I'm Fernando Jackson with Flint River Fresh, based out of Albany, Georgia.
Hello, my name is Dr. Robert Stephen Owar, and I'm the Executive Director for the Center for Innovation and Emerging Technology here at Albany State University. And we are doing a lot of agricultural research. We are collaborating with NASA to try and see how to grow food in Mars. And so we are conducting some experiments in which we are looking at light, we are looking at water, we are looking at soils, we are also looking at hydroponics to grow food. So we are working on that as well as gravitational issues. We are also trying to grow food using vertical farms, so growing food in different rows using hydroponics and aquaponics. So we are working on that as well. In addition to that, we are also trying to create a community garden where we can show students how to grow food using all the different technologies. Finally, we are working on an app which will help farmers to determine the weather and to see how much the evaporation and transpiration is, and how much they need to irrigate, what fertilizers they need in their soils, all using satellite data. So we are again working with USDA and NASA to build this app. So those are some of the things we are doing at Albany State University. Thank you very much.
So as you can see, we have the knowledge, we have the passion, we have the drive and desire to continue to grow food in Georgia. Georgia has a very strong farm gate, and is actually #1 in several products that the world needs to remain healthy and maintain a stable food source. We're also a source of national security because of our food and our ability to produce that food. But what we need from you all is to urge, as Mr. Jackson said, your senators, your representatives, to make sure that the money that has been placed in the Farm Bill, in the Inflation Reduction Act, that it stays, and it not only stays there, but it goes toward conservation. Conservation is what we're here to talk about, and how to blend that technology with today's markets to create more food for more people, because we are growing. Georgia is growing. Georgia has been the #1 state in Georgia to do business, and that ag is very important, especially in Southwest Georgia. So we need you all, a call to action. Pick up the phone, call your senators, call your U.S. representatives, and make sure they understand the jobs that are tied to this bill, the food, the stability, and the safety of our country, as that has been stated already. You see the best practices, but what happens is for every one slot, there are 3 farmers that are trying to get into the conservation. The bill is bipartisan. Both sides of the chamber respect and want this bill to happen. The details to it will be worked out. There's so many things related to SNAP and supplemental nutrition and food for families. There's so much that's tied to our food deserts that we work against every day in Southwest Georgia to make sure that the availability of food and those products we need for our tables is available. So thank you for your action. Thank you for the work of our representation in Congress, in the Senate, and the House. But let's make sure that our voices are heard, that we need to expand this program, not cut it. Thank you. Now,